Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with my captain, Tate Mathews. He's got the hat out today. Tate, we've been anxiously awaiting week one of football. Obviously, Pick'ems is back.
Pick'ems is back. I'm the Barbara Campbell of WCTV Pick'ems. I think I've won 5 in a row. I was listening to Eye of the Tiger on the way over here. Gosh, I'm fired up, man.
So, congratulations. And keeping in mind,
But still humble.
Very, very, very. So, if you've won several in a row, like Coach Campbell, your competition has been Dr. Qualls and myself. So,
the fans. That's not fair.
And the fans, yes. The fans. Of course, the fans sometimes they tend to pick the home team, their squad. Anyway, congratulations, and you're going to be dethroned this year.
You are. How many wins do you have? How many victories do you have under your belt?
What do you mean?
Yes, over 300, right?
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about.
You are a very, very well-respected and accomplished coach. Do you know what that's called? Those are excuses, and I don't fancy you as a guy who makes many excuses.
You know what? That's true. That's true. That's true. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciate it. Hey, Tate, before we talk football, let's talk about some volleyball this week. We're getting going this week. Volleyball is. A couple of matchups I've got my eye on.
Big ones.
Nolensville hosting Siegel. Brentwood traveling to Siegel. Couple of big matches this week.
Big matches. Nolensville is AAA now. Siegel, the class of Rutherford County volleyball, really outside of WCS. They've kind of been the top volleyball program around in AAA in Mid-State, them and Cookeville. Always a great measuring stick. Those two games, definitely a lot of people in the volleyball community, whether they're a part of that or not, they're watching those.
And we talked about this last week. You feel pretty confident and feel pretty strongly that Brentwood is still the team to beat. Maybe Ravenwood second, but maybe it's Nolensville second. But I think we'll know at least starting out the way it's going to look after both of these matchups with Siegel.
I agree. I think it's, till somebody knocks them off, I'm going with the Lady Bruins. But Lady Raptors, Lady Knights, hey, they're all in it. But all you can do is beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and all Nolensville has done the past 2 years is beat everybody they're supposed to beat.
You know, again, much respect to Coach Young. So listen, when they're in AA, you might go, well, they're dominating, so why wouldn't they play Siegel? Listen, they've moved up to AAA, and they're still going out and getting some big-time matchups. So, I'm telling you, it's a great program.
Great program. It's going to be fun to watch. And you know how it is with volleyball. It goes, several games a week. So we'll know pretty early on who's going to be the favorites or not.
Soccer news. Centennial, Coach Williams taking on, they're actually going to host Nolensville and Coach Shelton's squad this week. Also Franklin, Oakland, that's another, I think, interesting matchup as we get started. But I'll be interested to see if we can go back to back. Some people are saying, well, that was kind of a flash. Centennial had some seniors, but it was something like 7 years that they had not won a first-round game. I like the swagger that she brings to the team, so I'll be interested to see how Centennial looks here starting off.
Yep, played there, takes a lot of pride in it. You can tell, putting a lot of time and effort into it. So you're right. I like the attitude. I like the culture around the program. Can they take that next step now? And in Nolensville, same thing. Coach Shelton was right on the door in AAA with soccer. Now they're going up. How will they perform in AAA? I think they're going to be fine. That's going to be a really fun game to watch. And then the Lady Admirals in Oakland.
I've got them penciled in as another state title, don't I?
That's right. I mean, you look at how young they were last year. You talk about everybody coming back. I think the Lady Admirals are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
No doubt. Let's talk some golf. Now, golf has gotten started here a little bit. Ravenwood boys and girls with wins over Nolensville at the Governor's Club. Michael Hack, Connor Caparos both shot a 1 over. Emily Nelson 2 over for the girls. Franklin, boys and girls, defeat Spring Hill early in the week. And then Summit, now get this, freshman Will Pinson for Franklin shoots a 5 under. Okay, so par, right? Par 36. Right. He did 5 shots better than par. 5 under par as a freshman. Eli Cleveland was even par. Cooper Wilcox 2 over. Harrison Akers 3 over. If they keep that up, Franklin may be looking at another state championship in golf like they had 2 years ago.
That's right. Coach Whipple got them rolling. Hey, let's go back to the Governor's Club. I don't play courses like that.
What if they'd let you out on the course? We had to teach you some decorum.
They let me drive the car. I didn't say I've never been out there. I've never played there. I'm assuming have you played it?
No, not the Governor's Club.
1 under, that's really good, right? It's a pretty tough course.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
I'm more at home like at the Skyview Country Club. Beetlejuice 28.
Listen, 1 under there is great, but much less the Governor's Club or one of the courses that our teams actually play on. Hey,
so then what you're telling me is we had a freshman shoot 5 under, and more than likely his mom drove him to and picked him up from the match.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Unless he got a ride from someone. How'd you do, son? I was 5 under. Thank you. Sophia DiPaolo, our Wilco winner from last year. She goes even par for the girls. Franklin off to that 2-0 start, boys and girls. Brentwood, their boys and girls both defeated Centennial out at the Brentwood Country Club. The Brentwood boys also defeated Page, but the Page girls with a win over Brentwood. That's a pretty good win.
That is a good win.
So
that raises some eyebrows for sure.
It does, and that boys match for Brentwood Page, they take the top 4 scores typically. It was tied. They go to the 5th score, and Brentwood won by going to the 5th score. So it was tight there too. All right, Tate, it's time. It's week 1. It's football previews. It's pick'ems. I know everybody's just been chomping at the bit to get pick'em started. We're going to start off talking about the Battle of 840, Fairview at Page. Game day is back. We're pumped up about WCTV, Game of the Week. I mean, I think WAKM may be there. I mean, it's kind of the game in Williamson County in WCS for the sports conference this week, I think, when you're talking about our teams.
It's the Battle of 840.
It's the Battle of 840.
It's the Battle of 840. It's where game day started, the very first game day ever. At Fairview.
Well, and wait, let me make sure this is right. Did a little research on this.
Yes.
I'm hearing that Dr. Qualls, really in hindsight, his job could have been in jeopardy because that was the game that they put all the fans together.
That was the second one. The one at Page.
Okay.
Yeah, his memory's a little fuzzy. The first game day was Page at Fairview, but it was back when they used to play further on in the season, week 6 or whatever. And that was where we were riding out there, and he was really getting nervous that nobody was going to be there. The next year, the Battle of 840 started.
That was when they piled up.
That was game 1. That was when you've seen the clips. Somewhere he found a helmet. Fred J. Page himself wore this helmet. It was blue, and that's where he got up and he picked and he did the Heisman pose. Everybody's like, who is this nut? It was awesome. That's where it almost, yes, it got a little, the students, I think I can say this. I'm pretty sure there might have been cheerleading on cheerleading crime.
Wow.
I think they had to be separated. So, but that was actually the third game day because later on in that year we did station camp at Ravenwood game day. And I've never been so cold in my life, and it's the only time he ever did this. We did a game day, we did a halftime show, and then we did a post-game show. And after the game, I went out to my truck and got my duffel bags out, and we were literally pulling every sample I had in the truck and layering up. We were freezing so bad.
So it was game 3. So I told a partial.
So he's all messed up.
A partial. Maybe I messed the story up, but I don't think so. The point is, from that point forward, it's about the home team and their crowd. We will be stationed there in front of the Page crowd with the Page students behind us. Won't be Fairview folks there, just for obvious safety purposes. And what might be said or done behind us too.
While we're on this episode of This Is Your Life, Dr. Qualls, a lot of history at the Page game days. That's where that happened. It's also where he got the box truck stuck. I don't know if you've ever heard that story. He was trying to, I guess he thought that thing had a 4 low. Yeah, there's a lot. Hey, one year there was a game day at Page, and that was when they put the turf in. It literally was finished, hours before the game day. I can remember Dr. Looney was out there walking it. A lot of history in that one. So it's back. It's going to be great. I think, didn't last year they both wear their home uniforms? I really don't know. I don't know if that's something they're going to do again, but I think that's a great tradition. It's going to be fun.
Well, listen, I've got some inside information from Coach Rathbone that there might be a special uniform.
Oh.
Which you probably know a little
Wonder
bit
what
about.
it looks like.
You know, I've heard it's really nice.
It's real nice.
So they may come out for that game. So we'll see. Hey,
but wouldn't it be awesome if Fairview's in their Fairview yellows?
Sure, I love that. You know, you love the color rush.
Color rush, love it.
So Fairview last year broke a 3-game Page winning streak with an 18-3 win at Page. Page is 4-3 over the last 7 years. And in this game, home field, which they played at Page last year, right?
Yes.
Home field hasn't seemed to matter much if you go back and look at the history of the series. So can Fairview go back-to-back years with wins at Page?
No, you're exactly right. It hasn't. That's been one thing that's messed me up. I've struggled with this game through the years, and it's because the road team wins a lot, right? And can they do it? Sure, they can do it. Will they do it? I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting. I read an article Coach Hughes said, and I agree 100%. They're kind of a mystery right now. You usually know what you have going in, right? Last year, pretty easy. You know, Riley Bennett's going to be the quarterback and run the offense, and he is what he is. And Logan Nardozzi, you know. A lot of question marks for Fairview right now. So, yeah, I think they can do it. Don't know that they will, but I think this game's a pick 'em for sure.
The difference maker could be McNamara at quarterback for Page. I mean, that's breaking news here, but Colorado State commit. I mean, surely he'll have an impact in the game, but maybe that's the difference. Fairview breaking in a new guy. Although Coach Hughes does a good job, much like Coach Blade, doesn't really seem to matter. You plug somebody in.
Right.
He's got Pendergrass and Mays, right?
Right.
Or McCoy, who are kind of battling. And I think you might.
Mays McCoy.
Yeah, Mays McCoy. You might see a little bit of a platoon situation.
You could, and because they both do things well, I think he tipped his hat. Mays is a sophomore. He's one of the we talked a little bit last year. He was one of the super freshmen in WCS basketball last year. Now he's one of the super sophomores. But he does things a little bit different than Kennedy. One thing we know about Kennedy's a winner, right? A lot like Riley Bennett. Different sport, different kind of athlete, but Kennedy's a really good wide receiver, so don't want to speak for him, but he kind of tipped his hat. I would think, yes, you're going to see both, but as the year progresses, you'll probably see Mays at quarterback. But you need to get your best. Hey, it doesn't do you any good for one of your best players to be sitting over there with you.
Makes sense. And Coach McCoy, basketball Coach McCoy.
Yes.
He'll be excited to see both of those guys on the hardwood this year, too. Son Mays and obviously Kennedy, who's been one of the Wilco finalists in basketball last year.
Right. Yeah. And then Mr. McNamara, yes, he's a difference maker. But the big thing is there's not a question of what can he do. The offensive line, can they protect him? Because if they can't protect him, it really doesn't matter, right? You can't throw on your back. Well, you can, but it's not a good result.
Not effectively.
That's right.
Well, I'm not going to tell you my pick yet, but I was feeling pretty confident Page until the jamboree last week. Didn't go very, very well for Coach. Now listen, it's a jamboree, whatever.
Right.
Had some guys out.
You dang sure don't feel good about it, but, it's a jamboree.
And maybe it's an attention getter.
It's a friendly.
Brentwood at BLACKMAN. First-year head coaches for the respective schools, Clint Fitch at Brentwood, Chandler Tygard at BLACKMAN. Obviously, Brentwood's coming off a state championship appearance in 6A. A lot of new faces, including Coach Finch. BLACKMAN 4-7 last year. Did have a couple of WCS losses, Ravenwood and Independence. Both of those games they got hammered. I know they're excited about this year. I think this one's going to tell us a lot about both of these teams.
I think so too. You can't go by this, but it's all we have to go by. If you look at the scrimmages, you got to feel better about Brentwood. Brentwood really looked good against JP2, who is, they've positioned themselves as one of the top half teams in the Division II 3A. We've talked about it. I think Davis White is going to be spectacular at the quarterback position. And you can tell Coach Finch and Coach Evans, offensive line coach, they feel better about their offensive line. Do you replace Walker Merrill? No. Cade Granzow? No. But we've got other guys, and there's other ways to do it. So I think you got to feel really good about the scrimmages that they had. Again, you think they've been good at offense the past few years at Brentwood? Well, the guy who's now the head coach is the one who was calling it. And then, one thing that I think you can't put a dollar value on, BLACKMAN has scrimmaged a couple of the Wilco teams. Well, one thing that we think is pretty cool around here is our Wilco coaches they're a tight-knit group. You got to know they shared it. You got to know they've got some notes. So the Blazing Fast, they do play really fast. The bad thing about that is if it's not going well for you, you keep killing the clock and you keep giving the ball back to your opponent. I think it could get ugly if Brentwood goes out and plays really well.
Well, and to your point, talking about the scrimmages, if I'm not mistaken, Centennial 2 or 3 scores up early in that particular
They felt
game
good
against
about their
BLACKMAN.
scrimmage. They felt good about their scrimmage.
So we'll see. Speaking of Centennial, game 1 on the new turf at Centennial. It's ready to go. Getting some practices in on the turf before that game. Overton coming off a 1-6 year last year with their only win over Antioch. I feel pretty good about, I'm tipping my hand here, but come on. I feel pretty good about Centennial being 1-0 on the new turf after this Friday.
Well, you always feel good about Wilco against anybody in
Yes.
Metro other than maybe Cane Ridge, depending on the year. But I will say this. Arcente Broom's the new head coach of the Overton Bobcats. Coach Broom will make them better. You can bank on that. But you're right. The new turf, a lot of excitement. Coach Kreisky and Dr. Dyson and Coach Glass and all of them have they're really putting a lot of excitement into the program. And let's be honest, it's been a rough couple years for Centennial. These are the games. They've got to build some confidence. They got to get some excitement. This is a game, and I think he'd be okay with it. It's a must win. It's a game you should win, and it's a game you must win. And I think they do.
I agree. Franklin, early challenge for Coach Alex Melton, his debut as the head coach of Franklin. They're going up against a really good Riverdale squad at Riverdale. Riverdale coming off a 10-3 year last year, lost in the quarterfinals to Oakland 39-14. Franklin obviously had some postseason success last year. A big win over Ravenwood that we've talked about several times, but a lot of those names are missing. A young team with a new coaching staff. They've got a challenge going to Riverdale. Big
challenge going to Riverdale. A lot of people think, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people up there think maybe Riverdale can challenge Oakland for RUCO supremacy this year. I do not, but I do think they're the second best team there. They've got a senior quarterback coming back, and many know Kelly Holcomb, NFL great, MTSU great. His son Jameson, he's a senior. He's experienced. They got good running backs, and they got a good defense. So it's a tall task. Coach Melton, we know they're going to be buttoned up on defense because it's going to be a good scheme. But you're right, a lot of question marks with the Admirals. You lose Connor Bevan, Spirito, and Repass, and all of them. I know there's people ready to step in and fill those shoes, but we just haven't seen it. But there is one very big name that they still have, and that's our man, Big Fisher Anderson. So,
well, if
in doubt, run it behind 74.
Well, let's talk about that. Obviously, this game needs to be one that Franklin takes care of the ball control.
Correct.
Right? So if you got a chance running it behind Fisher, like you said, the defense, I expect good play out of the defense because of Coach Melton and what he does. I'm really interested in this game.
Any defense run by Coach Melton will be a good defense. I am too, but it is a tall task. It's going to be physical. I'll put it this way: if Franklin wins this game, it'll be a physical football game.
Independence hosting CPA, a change at quarterback for Independence. Joseph Cummings, by all indications, is going to be ready to step up and play well for Independence. Obviously, CPA coming off back-to-back state championships. This is a game people have forgotten was canceled last year.
That's right.
They were supposed to play early in the year, couldn't play, didn't get made up. This is one, again, I think that'll tell us a lot about Independence because this is a good team they're playing.
And I think a lot of people forget that they just assumed that was a COVID. That wasn't. That was the rain game, remember? It was
That's right.
rain and lightning, and they just couldn't wait it out. And then with everything else was going on, they didn't do it. But yeah, I think this is, I think this is one of the top games in the mid-state. You're right. We were at WAKM Media Day the other night, and you saw Coach Blade. You can tell. He's not saying it, but you can tell he's got a confidence about this team. He really likes Joseph Cummings at quarterback, and he's got so many weapons. And the scary thing is when he's got more than 2 wide receivers, what Coach Blade is great at is he's going to get you out of what you do, and he's going to find matchup problems, and he's going to try to expose them. You got Lockwood out there, you got River Katina, and if you got a trigger man, which it seems that he's got a trigger man, they're a tough out, man. I think, and CPA is one of the best teams in the mid-state. I think Independence, CPA's got their hands full.
If I'm not mistaken, you're talking about that game being ranked. That was the week everybody moved to Thursday.
Correct.
Except Brentwood.
Yep.
Brentwood was set to host BA, and they said, no, we're just going to wait. And they turned out looking like the smart ones because Thursday was a disaster.
A disaster.
And so Friday ended up being okay. Like you said, CPA, Independence didn't get played at all. Nolensville BGA. Nolensville, obviously a nice showing. We talked about this last week against the Centennial team that manhandled BLACKMAN. Coach Derrick and Nolensville coming off back-to-back state semifinals. One of the favorites, and after that Page scrimmage with Marshall County, maybe the favorite. Now in Region 6-5A, again, what do scrimmages mean? But I can tell with Coach Derrick, kind of like you're saying with Coach Blade, I can sense the confidence. When you've got Samson Johnson back there with how many TDs? Would you say 25?
This year or last year?
This year. Wasn't your prediction like 25?
I think I said 23. He got mad at me. So, I'm saying I think he's going to sit in some second half.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Mr. 20 plus. We'll just call him Mr. 20 plus.
Will he be sitting in the second half of this one?
He'll be sitting the second half of the fourth quarter.
Fair enough. Ravenwood versus MBA. Return of Coach Hester. And again, like Centennial, they're playing on that new turf field. And I thought this was interesting. Bitter taste after losing to Franklin last year in the second round. And, I could tell by Coach Hester because he talked about, well, my first time as coach, nobody knew anything about it. I'm like, Coach, y'all already won like a state title and been to the finals. And what do you mean? What are you talking about? But I can tell, just like any good coach, he's trying to find a thing, right? Yeah. Well, Ravenwood's thing, I could tell by what Lee Millette said, Brendan Dickinson said, they're talking a lot about, oh, you want to go out in the second round again this year? I can tell that's kind of something they talk about, that last year we took a step back. We've got to be motivated and focused to take a step up. And let's face it, they're not going to say this maybe publicly. They're thinking state championship this year with Ravenwood.
I think so. Yeah, I think without a doubt. Fair to say chip on their shoulder?
Chip on their shoulder. But it's like a created chip, which is good. I like that.
Heck yeah, you got to.
They're not the hunted, right? Or excuse me, they're not the hunter. He said, we used to be the hunter, then we became, you're still the hunted.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they've got the hunter mentality, which I like.
I agree. Here's what I'm excited about. This weekend I watched a highlight video, huddle video of the Ensworth scrimmage. Who do you think? A lot of people are thinking I'm going to say Chris Parsons. No, Carter Miller. Let me tell you something. Go watch that thing if you haven't watched it. Great feet, great hands. We all know about that.
You seeing some gaping holes?
Not only that, most of his plays end up on the ground, and he's on top of that guy. And I'm telling you, you can't put a price tag on that. I hope his mom, if she watches this show now, doesn't get upset. It's a compliment. That boy is nasty. And I mean, capital letters. What a tone setter that is. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, he's as good as advertised from what I saw. But seriously, after, we're all the same. Like, and the way he plays, it reminds me a lot of Graham. after 2.5 quarters of that, you be like, man, will this guy get off of me? You know what I'm saying? And
no, he won't.
No, he's not. And so go over there and sit with Coach Uvart. So this is going to be a great game. It's going to be fun to watch. I think one thing to watch is, and I think NBA knows this, is I can't wait to see if they can protect Parsons and he moves the pocket. That's the difference between, I think, him and Reed, Marcel, who's a great junior quarterback too. If they can protect him long enough and he can move that pocket, well, you saw the video of him throwing that ball. If those receivers get behind him, he can get them downfield, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Summit at Henry County, a rematch, and maybe the best game of the week, right? When you're talking about level of team, maybe that's the best game this week, but a rematch of last year's state semifinal. Summit went on the road to win 35-21 at Henry County last year. They're going back on the road again this year. Some key parts returning: Destin and Keaton Wade, Brady Pierce, to name a few. But this week's gem, Tate, 4 out of 5 of those offensive linemen are back for Summit, and they kind of need them to be, right? Moving up to 6A. But I think that's as big a deal as anything, is that line coming back strong from last year.
Well, yeah, because you can have and you might have the greatest quarterback of all time. But again, if you can't protect them, it really doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's huge. And this is going to be a really physical football game. That's how Henry County likes it. He's a lot like your good buddy Anthony Crabtree. Those programs, Beach and Henry County, are pretty mirror image. So you know it's going to be physical. And if you listen to Coach Coleman enough, if you're paying attention, yeah, you can't put a price tag on Destin and Keaton Wade. You can't put a price tag on those returning linemen. But his glue guy, the guy that always comes up, is Brady Pierce. Both sides of the ball, playmaker, and he's going to have a big game on Friday night.
Heck of a high school football player.
He's a winner, man.
He is. He definitely is. Hey, I thought something was interesting in taking a look at Summit's schedule. They start the year with 3 road games, 5 at home, 2 on the road. And my prediction, they might play a few at home in the postseason.
Yes, there'll be more than 5 home games. Going to be fun, man. Hey,
it is.
And let me tell you something. Henry County's not an easy place to win. They got the train whistle or whatever that is. Those fans aren't real nice to you when you get there. They've been there. They went and they checked that one off the list. They won there last year. That environment's not going to intimidate the Spartans at all.
And with Summit and Beach both moving to 6A, Henry maybe is the favorite to win it.
I think they are.
They've got new turf, right?
Allegedly. Is it going to be ready?
Oh, allegedly? Maybe we'll move it to Summit. I don't think they'll move it to Summit.
Man, they'll play that thing at the thing.
They have a YMCA over there.
Yeah, what do you call it? The Boys and Girls Club.
All right, let's talk.
If you're going, go to Tom's Steakhouse. That's the go-to in Paris.
Let's talk some pick'ems from last year, just to get a review. Let's start from the bottom. Dr. Jeremy Qualls had 55 wins last year. He was 55-25. The fans were 57-23. Yours truly, 60-20. Pretty good year.
Yes.
And then you were 61-19. Now, if you remember, it came down to the last week. We had 2 teams in the state championship game. We were all tied up.
Is this another excuse?
No. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're just recapping.
We both picked Summit to win. They won. You picked Oakland. You went outside of the WCS loyalties and went with it. I picked Brentwood.
I heard about it too.
And you ended up, you're like, look, I got to try to win the pick'em. So, listen, a reminder to all the fans out there, go to WCS CO Athletics, WCS CO Athletics on game day. Those pick'ems will be out there. We want you to participate as always. All right, let's start, Tate. Let's go through here quickly. I'm going to start off. Brentwood at BLACKMAN. I say it's a walkover. Brentwood rolls.
I'm with you. Coach Finch gets his first victory as the head coach. Many more to follow. Davis White, 300-plus yards, 4+ touchdowns.
Brewing fast.
Brewing fast.
Centennial versus Overton.
Coach Kreisky, the Cougars, they start off 1-0. I'm almost willing to go boat race.
Oh.
Not quite there yet. My man Forsey's going to have a big night.
Centennial.
Centennial. Oh, yeah, here's
no hat dog. I thought you were going to reach for it, but no.
Well, I'll do that on next week.
Franklin at Riverdale. Hey, as bad as I hate to do it, but I don't want to get behind here, and I hope I miss this one. I'm going Riverdale. I just think that's just if it's at Franklin, maybe it's a little different, but going to Riverdale, I'm going with Riverdale on this one.
Hate to do it as well, but I'm going to go Riverdale because I think they're older, and I think they're pretty dang good.
Independence hosting CPA. What say you, Mr. Mathews?
I'm going to surprise you. I've been saying it. I think I said it at Media Day. I think people are sleeping on the Eagles. I think Coach Blade knows it. I think Coach Blade thinks he's really good. And I think he's going to put them in some matchup problems. CPA's got a really good defense, interior, outside. They got some new people. I think Coach Blade's going to find some matchup problems. I think Independence wins.
And I'm not going to surprise you. I'm also picking Independence. All right, Nolensville, BGA. I'm going Nolensville, and I think they roll.
Nolo.
Ravenwood versus MBA. Who you got, Tate? Right now, we got the same picks.
I think a lot of people are picking Montgomery Bell, Marcel Reed, and they, great program. Coach Uvarard's one of the best. I don't think so. I think Ravenwood wins this game.
Man, this is a unique situation. All this agreeing. I'm also going with Ravenwood. Summit at Henry County. I think it's a repeat of last year. Summit, they can blow whistles and lay on horns and say ugly words all they want. Summit will win at Henry County.
Don't at me.
Oh, no.
Don't send me ugly text messages.
Oh, no. Oh, Smarty, tell me he's not going to do it.
It's week one. What is our goal and what is our purpose? Our goal is to win every game we can. Our purpose is to win the state championship, right?
This sounds like an excuse, too, coming
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying before you start getting angry at me, I'm going to go with Henry County.
Oh, my. Wow.
There are a lot of question marks that need to be answered for the Spartans from last year. They will be answered, but not in week one. I'm going with I don't even know what the flip they are, the Henry County Fighting Councils.
The Patriots.
They're the Patriots.
Listen, I try to protect you when I can. I just don't know if I can protect you from this one. I'm actually really surprised.
I'm prepared. I know what's coming. I hope you listen to the whole reasoning, but if not, that's okay.
I blacked out there when you started talking about it. I'm like, I can't believe he's doing this.
He can't be this stupid. When's game day's not at Summit, is it? Maybe I need to need to wear a helmet.
No, you got Henry. All right, so I'll let you pick first on this. The Battle of 840. Obviously, we'll be revealing some picks that night, too. Fairview at Page. Who you got, Tate Mathews?
Okay, I know you. And so you were thinking Page, but now you're going with Fairview because of what happened in the Marshall County scrimmage. And the road team usually wins. So I'm going to go. I don't know, so I'm going with Page.
I'm also going with Page.
Wow,
I'm going with the home team. I'm going with the home team, Page. All right, Tate, there you have it. Week one pick'ems. There's one game. Somebody's going to be up one.
Game day's back.
Can't wait.
T-shirt cannon's back. What does that mean? What comes out of a T-shirt cannon? Game day T-shirts.
Have you had a preview of them yet? I've heard they're looking good.
They're looking pretty good.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait. Hey, Dr. Hill. Dr. Pantal always brought it. She's got to be ready. I think she knows.
And she's
got big shoes to fill when it comes to game day.
She only has one chance to make her first impression, right?
That's right.
This is it.
That's right.
This is it. She'll be ready.
She'll be ready. Dr. Jones will be ready too.
Hey, and I was out at Page last week talking to the students, about 20 students in a meeting. Mr. Flowers out there, Dr. Hill in there. They're fired up.
It's going to be fun.
Can't wait. Thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.